One of the things that we absolutely deal with in our organization and every organization is we're impacted by Office. And access to Office is something that has been ubiquitous, and it's, I actually didn't realize until Brad had chatted before, 35 years of Office on the Mac.
Yep, 35 years.
And give us a little bit of an idea of where it's going.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I was talking to Woody about, we've now had Office on the Mac for 35 years, but the last two have been transformative. Historically, we had a different code base for Office on the Mac than from Windows, from iOS and Android. And over the last 2 years, we've now brought it into one code base. So what does that mean for you? What that means is now as we come out with new capabilities, because it's in one common code base, it comes across all the platforms at the same time. So it's not a model where something comes out on Windows and then you wait 18 or 24 months before it hits on Mac. It's all common code. And so that just allows us to scale and to offer new capabilities at just an incredible rate. In fact, if you move to the next slide, this is a view of just what has come out on Office on Mac in just 2019. And so, you know, the rate and the velocity at which we're able to bring new capabilities out is so predicated on the fact we have this common code base now. And we're going to show you here in a minute things like Office completely 100% rewritten from the ground up. And so we want to actually dive in and just kind of show you some of the new innovations. All right, so let's go over here and show you a couple of things. Put my reading glasses on here. You know, when you get old, you lose your hair, your eyesight's next. Okay, so wait for this to come up here. All right, let me give you just a quick kind of view of what you're seeing in some of the new Office capabilities. Some of this you may see already. A lot of this you'll see coming into preview. The first thing here is you're looking at the landing page of Word, and this is common across all the apps. Where you see this recommended bar, this is literally tracking. It's like a social media feed for you of the documents that you're working on, what's been shared with you, place where you've been mentioned at, so you can see, you know, things you need to be working on. And right here we give you a listing of the most common things that you've been working on. So let's go a little deeper, show you a few more things here. And the first thing I want to start with here, I'm going to show you some of the things that we have done in Office with respect to co-authoring. Now, if you think about co-authoring for a minute, it's changed my life and how I work. Gone are the days when I send an attachment, I get all the feedback back, and I have to compile. I want to have everyone working on the same document at the same time. So I come up here, I can see presence, and I can take a look here, and I can see that Alex is in working on the document, and I'll show you in a minute here where he's working at. But here you have this feed of comments. And so I can come in here, for example, and I can come in here and do an @mention. And so if I come in here, let's get in there, and type @ you know, I can bring in the people. I can put a comment in there. I have a question here where you edit this, but it allows all of you to work inside of one document. And of course, this is cross-platform in nature. Coming back up again here and just on the presence, you know, it would show you where the location is, but you can come down here and you can actually see generally where the person is working at. Looks like we're having a little bit of a connection issue on you, but it just makes it easy to co-author. Co-authoring does change your life. I want to show you one place where we're infusing AI into Word itself and some of the things we're helping you. One of the key things we're trying to do is help you build world-class documents, professional documents, documents that are inclusive. And so, you know, you've all seen the places, oops, sorry about that, where you get squiggly lines. Let me show you some of the new squiggly lines, and I'm going to come down here and find a couple. You've seen this, like, you know, where you see complacent, and it comes up and gives you some things around clarity and conciseness. Let me show you some of the new things. You're going to see these come up where you've kind of got like a gold little squiggly line underneath it. And so let me find one or two of these and show you things like, okay, cutting edge. If I click on that one, it's a vocabulary choice. You know, maybe you'd be better to use innovative. Let me show you one of the favorite things that I've looked at. Businessmen here. If I click on that, it comes back and says, that's not inclusive language. You should change it to business people. You know, let me give you just a quick insight on this. We've done research where we publish a job description with certain words in it, and it will attract two different communities based upon the words you use in a job description, if the language is inclusive or not. It matters. And now we're going to help you this with AI infused into Office. Okay, and so now with that, let's go and look at Excel for a minute. You know, I don't build enough pivot tables and tables inside of Excel to be a pro at it, so let's show you how AI helps out. So I can click in any tab here, and I come to this Ideas on the toolbar. You're going to get to love Ideas. Ideas is literally just sent that data up in the cloud, and it came back with some suggestions on what you might want to put in terms of Power Pivot and tables. Right? Like that would have taken me 10 or 15 minutes to do in the past. You know, you tried to do that in the past? Yes, I see heads going up and down. You know, now you can even have questions like, how are sales in confection? and it'll actually come up and show you what the sum of the sales are, but you actually have natural language to help you understand how you can actually now wallow and learn from your data. Let's move over to PowerPoint real fast. Question for you, Woody, here. Have you ever built a deck that looks like this?
I think that's how I sent you our original slides, Brad.
All right. What if I could turn this into a professional deck in less than a minute? You want to see it? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this in. Now what's happening here, you're going to see ideas automatically pop and it says, wow, this is AI that's infused, and that data just went to the cloud and we're coming back with suggestions. Let's help you build a powerful deck. All right, so let's go to the next slide here. This is a project scope. It's going to come back with some ideas on what I can do here. Let's go ahead and select this one over here. Right, we've got some goals. It actually is looking at the words right now, and it's going through it and trying to understand different aspects that are in the words. Let's go back into design ideas here. This case, it's a milestone, and so it gives me options to do things in a milestone kind of a format. Go back to the one here before. I'm going to get to it.
They're getting ahead of you on the demo, Brad.
All right, hold on here.
Who knew that was going to be the lead?
Huh? Man. Let me drill into this just a little bit, though. Remember that this was a timeline? It sensed it was a timeline and said, let me help you build a professional. So it's like having a designer in your pocket. Here, if I come and take a look at things like the words, take a look at the iconography. It matches the words in the paragraphs there. But just that easy, this is how you can basically take a white deck that Woody and I would build and turn it into a deck that looks like someone professional did it. All right, let's go into Outlook for a minute. Completely new Outlook, designed from the bottom up, new sync engine, new search engine. Everything is new in it. So let's kind of show you a couple of pieces in it. If I come in here and I look at calendaring, we have these concepts called quick cards. I can click on this, and it's just that easy now to go build an appointment, set a meeting appointment. Come back to the main path here. I can come now and I can completely customize what I want on my toolbar. So I can customize the toolbar here. Let's say that I want undo to be up in there, but you have complete control on what you want on that toolbar. And the search is new. The search is world-class inside it. And so if I start typing things in here, it actually looks into your address book and it'll help you just do an immediate search. But Outlook has been completely redesigned. The interface, the sync, the search, everything. And this is the app that people spend more time in than any other single app in Office. While we're on the dark mode theme, one note in dark mode. And let me end on one thing. Let me end on Edge. I want you to notice just how Edge now actually looks like an Office app. Just like I had before, my most commonly used files, the things that have been shared with me. With Edge now, and this is the Edge that is based on Chromium, you'll have a common browser that's based on common code across all the platforms. This will release on January 15th. And it has that right balance of empowerment, privacy, security. So it does give you that one browser that can be used across all the different platforms. Now, one last thing real fast. We talked about the partnership that we have. Let me just kind of drop into the admin console for a second and out of Office 365. This is the Microsoft Endpoint Manager console where we are now surfacing up all of the things that we do across the management tools that I build. If I come and look at devices here, and I look at all devices, right here, you'll see right here, for example, is a Mac device that's being managed by Jamf. It now appears in our administrative console, and you can come into this, and you can actually dive in and see all the details, and you'll see us making this more and more rich over time. But it's a wonderful partnership, and the value that comes into all of you as we combine our unique strengths is real.
I appreciate you walking through it. The rest of the story from the Jamf perspective that is able to support this is I don't have great features that are going to get in front of your end users and make them more powerful. That's what the rest of the demo from the Office side is. But we do have some capability that we're trying to make your lives easier that's in Jamf Pro. Michael Devins talked about it a little bit yesterday, this idea that we can bring configuration capabilities into Jamf Pro from an external source. One of the ones that we primarily targeted was the ability to configure Microsoft Office, and one of the slides that we had before was that ability to deploy Office from the Mac App Store. Continued investment from Microsoft and Jamf to try and make sure that the most commonly used apps and ways that your users are accessing the apps on the devices are actually there and available for you guys to get out and deploy. And the last piece that I wanted to leave with you with is this was very much a very rapid overview of a lot of things that we've talked about, and I didn't get that far into the details. There are sessions all over this week from some really good folks who are actually doing this in the field, as well as some of the things that I've previewed that are coming that are being talked about. If you missed yesterday, the recordings will actually be out there. There are sessions today and tomorrow specifically on things like the Power BI work, continued access with conditional access, and the work that we're doing. And just from a quick summary, conditional access is going to continue to get better. Device compliance is a way that you're going to see additional devices and the way you define compliance in your organization be exposed in the Microsoft environment as it flows in from Jamf. You're going to see the Power BI connector and make that available to you here in the fourth quarter. We're going to continue to focus on identity and how your users access their apps on the devices that they choose in whatever way we can, trying to make that easier. And our hope is that with things like the additional customization and configuration, we have more work that we can be doing together, and anything else that we're talking about, and Brad, myself, and the team that's available are constantly taking that feedback to try and make your life easier, to make your users more powerful. Thank you, Brad and team, for the work you do, and I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.